Good evening, Star Pupils. I'm your host, friend, and life coach, Mrs.Divine, and I bridge the gap between intuition and intelligence by giving you the tools to find alignment. Okay, so today I want to start off by talking about how important it is to honor your ancestors. Honor your ancestors. Honoring your ancestors is something that should be as familiar to you as a child, just like a bedtime story is, right? Just like your nightly prayers are, just like if your nightly routine, just like your grand rising routine, just like you know what to do when you have school the next day, just like you know what to do when it's somebody important's birthday. Okay, honoring your ancestors should be something that is celebrated like that and familiar with your children, just like the new Space Jam movie that came out, right? Just like when you saw Coco with your children and you were like, they made a movie about this? Absolutely. Do you know what they're telling you? They are telling you that this is something that is so popular and so well known in other cultures that they will make a movie out of it. Okay? And then your little children are there watching it, and if they don't understand anything about true spirituality, meaning connecting to who you are on the inside and what you're connected to, then they're not going to understand why Coco, the movie, is about what it's about and the significance and the power of it. What you are not realizing, and what you probably realized and what your children are realizing is there's this whole other way of life, way of experiencing life that you are not privy to if you are not teaching your children, if you are not teaching your generations from the time that they are young children enough where they can also explain it to their young children and keep it going, the importance of ancestor acknowledgement, then you are doing yourself and your family, your entire family, a disservice. Okay, now I'm a firm believer in the 10%, right? I'm a firm believer in the 10%. And because I'm such a firm believer in the 10%, I believe that one person, that black sheep of the family, that one person, and if you in your family you have more, you are so fortunate, right? You are so fortunate, even if y'all not necessarily working together or letting each other and on the fact that you know what you know and you do what you do, it's just working that much for the family. It doesn't matter. You don't have to collaborate in any sort. Just do your work for your family, period. But that black sheep, that person who knows what I'm talking about, who knows that connection that they have within, the power and the influence that they have over in their entire world with these tips and tools that get you toward alignment, right? All these things you do to really find your inner self and connect. These things are so very powerful. And it's one kind of power when it's you and only you, and only you. And it's another kind of power when you know you're more than you and you have a whole team. You have a whole team with you at all times and y'all communicate, right? It's a whole different ball game. And this is something that you should teach your children from a very, very young age on what it means to communicate with your ancestors and what it means to honor your ancestors, okay? One way you can honor your ancestors is by having an altar and giving offerings to your ancestors. The same, like I said, that they did on Coco, right? And they do every year, you know, for other cultures, the same kind of thing, right? So you can do it once a year, or you can make an altar and actually honor them. It don't have to be daily. Daily is good. I mean, daily is amazing, honestly, but it doesn't have to be daily, but honor them in some way, shape, or form. Honor them a couple times a week. Honor them whenever you feel like it. Honor them a couple times a year, but do honor them because they are there. And if you recognize who's on your team shows up for you. If you don't recognize who's on your team does show up for you, but it's a different level of plan when you, it's it's a different level of interaction when you are communicating with each other, right? When you are assisting each other. Um, and so that's kind of, I believe, all I have to say on that one. Yeah, honor your ancestors. Oh, one more point. So if you're not quite sure how you feel about honoring your ancestors, or what that even means, then a easy way for you to start is for you to look at yourself and start building up your family tree, right? Who are you connected to? Do you have any children? Do they have children? And so on. Or even down, who are you connected to? You have siblings. Who are your parents? Who are their parents? Who are their siblings? Start working on your family tree. Do it with your children. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself and then tell your children connected. Do it and actually memorize like who is who to who and who as far as you can. You can go real deep. Like I know one time I was calling grandparents and aunties and great aunties and stuff and trying to figure out who was who, who was all like in my line. But I'm always, for the most part, going to come up short with that one. The deeper I go, I mean, at least I got some information, but I don't know who my dad is. So, with me not knowing that other half of me, it is always this understanding that I can only get so um, heavy into learning the ancestry, and that it's at the end of the day not absolutely that important. Not that important because for you to communicate with your ancestors, you don't have to know their names. You know what I'm saying? You know they're in your bloodline, right? They know they're in your bloodline. So you don't have to know their names. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day. But still, consciously, you practicing your family tree, writing it down, and trying to figure out who is who will help you to go deeper. Will help you to go deeper. Okay, and so I know that you guys hear me talk a lot about who's on your team, the fact that there is more than just you, here working on this physical plane, being here on this physical plane, that there's more than just you. And I don't mean that to sound creepy. What I mean that to sound is that understanding that the same way how you feel the wind blow at you, there is stuff happening that you're not necessarily paying attention to. There are other things in this world that are shared with you that you are not necessarily paying attention to. And I say all that to say for you to control your space, okay? Control your space. You already know that just getting too close to someone else, you can start to sense their energy, right? You can start to feel if they're warming and inviting. You can start to feel if they, have an attitude of some sort or whatever. But you can start to pick up on their energies, right? Even you get close enough, you can hear what somebody is saying to you about you or whatever. Versus if they are further away, you couldn't tell that. You can see if somebody's looking at you. You're able to perceive other things in yourself the closer they are to you, right? And that works the same way that feelings work. So I am going to tell you a quick story so you can better understand what I'm talking about, right? So a lot of times we have to challenge ourselves to remember that it's easier to fix what's happening mentally and internally in your own internal world, your mind, your emotions, things like that. It is easier for you to control and manipulate that than it is for you to the outside world and other people, other things. Things are like physically in your world, right? So that's something that might be said a lot, but it's also something that we know is hard for us to actually practice, right? Hard for us to practice. So the reason why controlling your space is important is because then you can literally hold your space open more. You can push your space back more. And what happens when we push our space back more, the bubble that we have, we expand it out, then we're not allowing things to get anywhere near us because we're keeping that space big and open, okay? Big and open. Keeping ourselves big and open. Because if your space is big and open, you're saying for real nobody can get through who's not in this energy, right? And not only can you not get through, if you even start to close in on the walls, I'm just holding you there. There is no penetration. There is no getting close to me, right? So essentially what you're doing is you are extending your auric field out, right? Your electromagnetic field, you are spreading it out. And what this does is this allows you to function at your highest. It allows you to function in a way that you choose to function. So it allows you to be consciously present. Okay, and it allows when you are allowing yourself to be subconscious, or when the subconscious kicks in, because it kicks in all on its own. And so when the subconscious kicks in, it allows it to flow in a way where once you become conscious, you have the opportunity to perceive your life for the wonderful thriller that it really could be, right? That it really could be. So here's my quick story to explain to you kind of what I mean by extending out your field, right? So I went out of town. I was getting my nails done. I went to a shop. I had made an intent on my day as soon as I rose, right? This is what I intend on, this, and this. May my day be like this, and this. And everything that I said was coming to. Okay, it was happening like this. Like everything I said I want to do was just working out. Like it was to the point where the lady, like I was like, I'm going to get up early and I'm going to get in the pool before anyone else does and do my laps, right? Because I like to swim. And I looked at the time the night before. It said 8 o'clock. So I got up. I was out there by 8:05, right? And the pool was locked. I go into I'm going to make this story quick too. I go into the lobby. Well, I call the lobby and I say, hey, my key isn't working. I can't get in the pool. Can somebody tell me how to open the pool? And she says, it's not opening till 10. I said, oh, it says 8 o'clock on here. And she says, well, yeah, but it's from 10 to 10. I said, oh, okay. So I got the phone. I was going to accept that. Then I said, okay, I accept it. I accept it for what it is. But what I'm going to do is I am going to walk my little self up to the front with my bathing suit on and express to them what I'm doing in a bathing suit at 8 something in the a.m., right? So I go up to the front and I tell her, hey, I just want you to know that the sign out there does say 8 to 10. And if you're someone like me who has children and things like that, I got up purposely. I planned my day to start off with doing laps before the children woke up, before the children rose. Okay? And so that's what I plan to do. And because that's what the sign said. Had it said 10 o'clock, I would have found a different way to do my plan. But I said, this is what I did. So I just want you to know you should probably change that sign, because there are going to be other people like me who enjoy swimming and want to get up before the children, get up. And she was like, yes, okay, well, I would definitely accommodate you this time. Okay, I would love to accommodate you right now. So she called around. I guess she didn't know how to open the pool, and she was calling around asking what key it was, and then she figured it out. So she went and opened the pool. When she opened it, she said, she's like, oh, here you go. I definitely understand you wanting to have your you time, your me time before the children rise. And I said, yes. Thank you for being so accommodating. Okay. But what I wanted to say was accommodating. You're accommodating me because you open up the pool at the time that it says to open up the pool. Oh, and then she looks at the sign and says, oh, it does say 8 to 10. You're right. Of course I was right. Anyway. So, but that's what I want to say. You're accommodating me? Like, girl, please. You're doing your job. You're doing what you should have did. It said 8 o'clock. You should. Matter of fact, you're even less accommodating because now we are already this many minutes behind the regular scheduled program of when this pool should be open. But I didn't. I said, thank you for accommodating me. Okay? So at this point, I had to shake it off and say, well, at the end of the day, It was done. Thank you. I intended on swimming before the kids got up in the AM. And this is what's happening. Despite what had to happen to make it happen, it's happening. Thank you. Right? So that's like me sensing a little irritation and trying to say, okay, leave it alone. Fast forward, another part of what I was doing is getting my nails done. Now, okay, so yeah, I was getting my nails done. I'm going to make this fast. So when I went to get my nails done, a series of things happened. I will save you guys the details, okay? But basically it was a question as simple as, this is what kicked it off. They asked for my phone number in this, well, they told me to sign in. I was like, where do I sign in at? I don't see a pen and paper. He's like, there's this keyboard thing right there. Sign in there. So it's asking your name, your phone number, your birthday. But I think at the birthday part, you're able to skip and stuff. I'm like, oh, they asking too much information. So I gave my real number and like a close enough name, right? And then I skipped the birthday. And I asked him, and he was just looking at me. I was like, okay, I'm done. He was like, okay, have a seat. I said, you know how long it's going to be? He was like, we don't tell people how long it's going to be. We don't know. I said, an estimate? He was like, no, we don't give an estimate. We don't know. I said, okay, you don't know. Well, do you know if I have enough time to go to the bathroom or go in my car and grab something real quick? He said, yeah, you got enough time for that because there's 2 people ahead of you. Thank you. You know, that's my estimate. But that was like strike 1, y'all. Or strike 2 the other day, but strike 1 for me being there. And the only reason why I picked this place was because of time, right? They were the first ones to be open, and I knew I would be able to, get there and move at a steady pace with everything I wanted to do before I went back to those children, right? So, that was strike 1 at that place. Strike 2 overall. But then a series of other things happened, okay? And all I saw myself doing at the last part is I saw myself going to the front of the room and throwing down nail polish, throwing the one in my hand and like saying all types of stuff and just going off. I saw me doing all that. And I couldn't even battle the images that was going in my head. It was like, I couldn't even dismiss them. It was like, yeah, I really could do that right now. I could do that right now and feel justified. Like I would feel like Mrs. Divine awakening. And she had to, experience this. And this was a conscious decision of hers because she knew what was about to happen when she turned up like that, right? And wouldn't cared. It would have been great, right? That's how I felt. I felt like it would have been absolutely refreshing and getting me back to the ease I wanted to feel about the day, considering the situation, right? And then there's this part of me that was like, man, if you do that, here's what's gonna happen. I was like, oh well, like it might happen like that, it might not, because like it is. I saw me walking out of there. She was like halfway done. I saw me just walking out. I was like, oh no, you can't. Oh, excuse me. And it got to, so that was like the second straw. Third straw was when I said I would like a design on my thumbnail, and she looked at me and she said, what? Like I wasn't speaking clearly. So I said, I would like a design on my thumbnail, please. And she was like, design? I said, yeah. She said, what kind of design? I said, like simple lines or something. And she was like, simple line design? I said, do you know how to make a design? And she just stares at me. I said, do you know how to make a design? If you do not, let me know so you don't go messing up my nails. And she was like, no, I don't know. And I said, okay, but normally if they don't know how to do a design at a nail shop, then they would ask somebody there who knows how to do a design at a nail shop, right? But she didn't ask anybody. She was just like, no, I don't. So I was like, okay, right? And so at that point, that was my third one. And I wanted to, my foot was right by her face. I'm not saying I was going to kick the lady, but I am saying that I would have gotten up like dramatically and it might have done something, because that's how it works when you honor your ancestors and stuff. When you have a whole team working behind you, they sense what you want to do and they may accidentally do it for you, right? With the slightest move. So I was realizing all these different ways that can go right now, right? And I said, all right, I said, I'm finna say something. I'm finna say something. And do y'all know what I did? I almost cracked up when I heard it come out of my mouth. I just said, I'm gonna say something, right? Didn't think about what I was gonna say, just said it. And I looked at the lady and I said, I like your hair. I like your hair. And she looks at me and she was like, what? Like she did before. And I said, your hair is very pretty. I like your hair. And y'all, I'm saying this, but I'm listening to myself saying this. I had no idea that was going to come out because what I thought I was going to say, I don't know what I thought I was going to say. I just kind of like left my head clear. Like, I know all the different ways this is going to go right now. Like, I'm going to say what's on my heart. And I told her, I like your hair. I think your hair is very pretty. I was so shocked at what came out of my mouth. It was like, whatever comes out of this girl's mouth right now is about to change this situation. It's going to make this pendulum swing one way or the other, right? That was what was going to happen. And I think what I'm concluding is that the alignment from everything I said I wanted my day to be like had me just speak without thinking, and me without thinking, me just being in the moment speaking, the nicest thing came out. And at the end of the day, that projected for me the wide open space I was creating for myself, okay? Me at that moment deciding without me even consciously, it wasn't even a conscious decision, that was literally my subconscious flowing through after I've given it some, consideration, and already set my subconscious to what I wanted to feel for the day, what I wanted to my day to be like, my intentions, right? So me saying that, it was like, it showed that was all these things in my space trying to push through, right? And the more stress we get is the more we're basically allowing our space to get pushed back into us. So now we're feeling it, and now we're finna tick, right? Now we finna let them have it. Now our emotions are, we about to let it just get chaotic around here, okay? Me holding my space and holding that bubble is allowing me to experience my emotions in observation mode, right? As opposed to experiencing my emotions where I am being taken for a ride because I told my emotions, this is what we finna do, okay? And so, not saying I wasn't experiencing an emotion when I said something kind, but am saying that I was still able to clearly observe and not be muddled in the mix. As long as my space is out, I can see out into the horizon, okay? If my space is getting caved in, then all these things are in my way, I can't see, okay? So it is important for us to learn how to open our space, expand our space, and keep it there. It's one thing to raise your vibration, but I see the power in raising your vibration and the spaces around you. Okay? I see the power of pushing out your vibration. My former mentor told me one exercise that I could do to really allow myself to tune into the universe, because I'm always that person who likes to get away and be in my own space. He said, no, go somewhere where it's a lot of people at. And allow yourself to get in a space of meditation around a lot of people. To do that is just, even to think about it, it's like, it does something to your mind. It's not that it's impossible, but it's like, dang. Like, that's why it was funny because I was kind of ready for it, because I always stress you don't have to have peace and quiet for you to meditate. You don't. But that was like the ultimate challenge, right? Is to set myself out intentionally to go somewhere and meditate. Like, sometimes I will get to a point where I just will, because I'm just able to do that. But when you know that's your mission to go do it, it could be intimidating, right? But practicing doing that really set the pace for when I realized that I needed to do more than just that. Not that I needed to, but that I could do more than just set my vibrations to be higher. The more that I could do was to push out my space and allow my spaces to vibrate higher as well, right? Because that truly allows a person, it truly allows a being to see clearly the way they want to see. And what I want to see is the clear vision that I see and understand every day between the physical and the spiritual, right? And that example I gave was my prime example because I allowed the spiritual to push through the physical the way that it did. And in that situation, it was the power of my voice, right? Because I could have said one thing and it could have went the whole opposite way, right? And it was like what I went through in that doesn't mean that my day didn't go the way I had already asked for it to go. It went exactly that way. It just, when I am judging the situation as to what that should feel like and look like, as if everything should just go the way I want it to go, it's like, yeah, but it's going to look a little bit different, and that's okay, right? It was okay. It was great. Anyway, that was amazing because it literally took me through my whole day. It took me through my whole day and then some. And it was like, it wasn't like that draining feeling that we could feel as master teachers, people who are actually mastering ourselves and doing this work and trying out things that resonate with us and to connect into our spirituality, right? So as a master teacher, that is something that we do, is like we raise our energy a lot, right? That's what we want to do. We want to keep that. It's not even about are you positive or whatever. It's about being able to tune in to your frequency. That's what it's about. Being able to tune into your frequency, and if you're dropping lower, and that's not what you want to do, know how to raise it up. If you want to drop lower for whatever reason, know you know how to work with your energy, right? So if you're doing that, and that's what your focus is on, that is like the basics, right? That is like a person, that is like a person learning how to color in the lines, right? So they already know how to color, but now they're coloring in the lines. That's like your first step, is learning that you can raise your vibration, right? And then when you learn how to push out that vibration, that frequency, that's like going from learning how to color in line to having a blank canvas and you sketching out that image or painting that image. Okay? That's what that's like jumping to. That is like a major shift when you realize not only can you raise your vibration, but everything around you. Especially when you realize that everything is you. And so some people ask, why spirituality? Okay? So you say you're not religious, right? But you're not this evil person, right? You care about people, care about the world, but you're not religious. So why spirituality? I say why spirituality because why not? Why not believe in something that your heart can believe? Why not believe in something, the fact that you are connected to something powerful? Because you know it. I feel like anybody who even goes down a religious path at all is because they feel like they are connected to something powerful. And it's like that which we are seeking. And no matter what, as long as you're seeking to figure out what that connection is, you're going to find you. I don't know what level you're going to find you. It all depends. Like religion is one level of it, but you're going to find you. And I just feel like with spirituality, it's and by spirituality I mean that connection to your inner essence, your inner guidance system, your inner whatever you feel like you're connected to, whatever powers you, whatever you feel like you are searching for. That's your spirituality and what your journey and that it takes to get there. But I feel like when you're on that journey, there becomes a purpose, right? You begin to see your purpose, even if your purpose is simply just to figure out what that is that you're seeking after, right? It is still way more of a life to have to figure out that purpose than it is to feel as if you're going to just be born to die. I mean, if you're one of those people who feel like that's what you're going to do anyway, so it doesn't matter, YOLO, live out, do what you're going to do in life, whatever. Okay. But that is different. It is going to be a very different experience if you include your spirituality in on that one too. So you can still feel like that if you want to, but if you're chasing your connection, your spirituality, because even if you think you were born just to die, you still think that you are. So you think that there's something. And if you go after that something, it's going to be a whole different kind of journey than the depressing one of someone living just to die and then possibly going to heaven or hell. Okay? Or living just to die and following all these rules, right? All these regulations, things that in the inside we're saying, no, this is what we want to do, but we're doing someone else's rules or following or saying or doing things because this is what everyone else is doing and what we're told to do. That is truly the walking dead. And it's funny because my stepdad used to say all the time, y'all like the Walking Dead, huh? This world is already full of the Walking Dead. I was like, what is he talking about? You know, he never really tried to explain to me. He would just say little things like that. And I realize it now. If you're living just to die, you are the Walking Dead. And a lot of people are living just to die. So why spirituality? Why not? Why not believe in something greater and thrilling and better, in my opinion? Now, there are some people who are here. There are some beings. There are some of us who are here to experience different things. Some are here to actually experience what it's like to live a hellish experience. All right? And that of what they seek is not hellish to them because that is exactly their environment that they want to be. And then there are some of us who are here to experience things different from that, to experience love at its greatest, or unconditional love, or heaven here on earth, right? Or just heavenly types of vibes. And then there are all those in between, right? But we are all here for what we are all here for. So if you are on your path of whatever, wherever, and you stay true to your path, then you will realize that spirituality is right for you because there are no real rules to spirituality, right? It's about expressing essentially who you are, tuning into you and tuning into who you are. And that is, like I said, different for everybody. And there's no judgment of which one you are, but from myself, I know what end of the spectrum I'm on. And I believe y'all all know it too, because I'm on the side of unconditional love, right? And creating that balance between both sides within me, okay? Creating that balance of both sides within me. Because at the end of the day, we are all, so I may see it all exist, but I know what I want to engage in, what I want to entertain, because I know where I'm at and where I'm growing. Okay? Why spirituality? Because it's thrilling. If you have a great time figuring out things, for example, if you're a person who likes to go to different escape rooms and things like that, then you are a person who would love spirituality on whatever level it is that you participate, because the more you actually engage with spirituality, engage with working with your energy, engage with communicating with nature and understanding nature, and understanding your connection, your role in nature, the more you do these things, the more you become able to connect the dots. Once you're able to connect the dots, you start to see how masterfully the universe works in your favor for so many things. How masterfully everything is connected, right? And it becomes a fun, challenging type of thing which can kind of catch you up too, because if you're too much into figuring out or connecting the dots, then you become someone who gets out of the present moment a lot, right? It's almost like kind of irritating to be in the present moment because it's so much fun and so thrilling to um, retrace things or see things how they go. It's like a movie. It's like a movie happening while real life is happening, right? But it's your own movie that's really happened from things in real life. Or it's like when you think about the present, when you think about the present things that are lining up and the future that can hold versus, or not versus, and everything that had to happen in the past to make it happen. It's kind of like this is happening while this is happening presently, right? So you can really become disconnected from the moment, from reality, from what's happening because you're so caught up in that world. But that world is so thrilling. It is so much fun to really connect the dots and see how great the universe is, how funny it is, all these different emotions, and feeling like how the universe has you experience this, right? So it might not be funny and things like that, but you're able to experience it through these different things. Like I will randomly laugh, just be cracking up when I piece together like something that happened, or like, dang, if that never happened, then this, or this need to happen because of that, or I'm figuring out a lesson learned. For example, I realized today how good I've been getting at communicating with different herbs, right? Herbs and roots and flowers. I've been getting really good at this. Kind of the same way how I was getting really good, or I got really good at communicating with crystals. Like, if you ask me a question about crystals, I can get the information, right? But if you tell me all the information on crystals, I know I'll have a lot of information. But if you ask me certain things about it, I would have to go research or, figure that out. I have to go research in some way, simply because there's just a lot of information on these things, right? Once I can communicate with it, basically, I don't need to study in depth. I could, but there are so many things you can study in depth about, and you still will never ever know how there could be to it, right? It's always going to be something else to learn, something else to learn. So I get to a good overall point with it where I'm able to communicate with it, right? So at any answer I may need, my universe knows how to interact. We interact with each other, and I can get that. So with crystals, I've gotten really good at them. I know what they do. I might not know right away when you tell me. This is this one. What does jade do? But if I have some jade, I'll tell you in a couple of hours, if it takes that long, exactly what it's about, right? I'm getting like that with the roots and herbs, and it just like, it didn't blow my mind because I don't like to use that phrase, but it was really thrilling to see how good I got and what I was doing when I realized how good I was, okay? When I realized what I was seeking and how I was able to connect with what I connected with and how I connected with it. So I'm getting good at that, and I'm getting good at using that not just in the actual plant itself, but also from essential oils of them, right? I am getting good at that, and it is so thrilling when you realize that, oh, I could do this now. It's like as you unlock and uncover what's within you and open up all this junk DNA or just DNA that hadn't been used for a while, it is thrilling. It is absolutely exciting. Okay, so why spirituality? That kind, because as you figure out more about yourself, you realize how freaking amazing you are. Okay, and it's not limited to just me, but it could be you too. You could be freaking amazing, and you start to feel it. Like, for example, I have a client who has been telling me lately how proud I would be of her because she's doing this and she's doing that. And it's like, girl, how proud I am of you. You are proud of you. And that's the key. It's not about how I'm going to feel about you. Okay? Because when we talk, you know you know that that's in there. You know that that's in there. You just know that it's being suppressed sometimes. And the minute that this client started to, there's that word. I said I had to stop saying that word, client. The minute that this individual who I work with discovered that within herself, she automatically sensed that I will feel pride for her. I will feel proud of her. Do I feel proud of her? Absolutely. But I was proud of her in the very first beginning for taking a step to even work with somebody with anything, to even want to cultivate that within her, right? To make her proud of herself, to make her live life in a way that she will be proud of. And as we unlock these proud moments, we're able to connect deeper and deeper into our inner essence and see how great we are and want to keep working toward that next step of development for ourselves, right? So I say all that to say, why spirituality? Because it is a thrilling experience when you actually get to experience life versus being caught up in the ups and downs in life, right? To experience things is a whole different ball game because you realize that things are not done to you, okay? Things are not done to you. It's a whole nother level of perception that most can't see and will not see if they do not choose to discover that's within, that's without, that they are connected to, and that connects all things, right? So keep doing that work on yourself and allow yourself to open up to your journey. When you open up to your journey, you will start to realize how literally one step you made, one thought you made, one word you said led to endless possibilities, endless things that are happening right now. Like energy really just keeps going, pushes itself out like the Energizer Bunny, right? It doesn't stop. It keeps going. So there is no losing your energy or anything like that. You just got to keep observing it, seeing where it is, and doing what you can do to keep it coming, rapidly, I guess, at a faster rate. But you can do what Star Pupils continue to work on yourselves and continue to evaluate yourselves and see what it really is. Tune into reality. See what it really is. I know, like I said before, with myself and people who work on their spirituality, it can be very enticing, very thrilling and exciting for you to level up in the spiritual world and level up in the physical world because of the fact that you are acknowledging your spiritual prowess, right? So as tempting as it can be to get caught up in that world, we must remember our balance, right? You must remember your balance because the fun part is allowing your subconscious to be able to take over here in the physical as well, so that you have that balance between experiencing the merging of the worlds between the physical and the spiritual. Oh, and one more thing, y'all. When manifesting, here's a little tip and trick for you. When manifesting, as in creating your own reality, claiming what you want, when manifesting, you have to remember that your words should align with that of what you're manifesting. Okay? Your actions should align with that of what you're manifesting. Your thoughts should align with that in what you're manifesting. The thoughts of others around you primarily should align with that in what you're manifesting. What you view should align with that and what you're manifesting. And what you allow to be taken in through your ears or other senses should be in alignment with that and what you are manifesting. Meaning that if you're somewhere and it's a hurricane season, right? and someone is telling you, have you heard about hurricane such and such coming down? You respond in a way that lets them know, because a lot of times it's not done to cause you worry. It's not done to try to mess up your manifestation, right? Not intentionally by these people. It's done out of love and care and concern, and because that's what a lot of people are trained to do, is worry and express their worries and concerns on other people, even if it's not to be negative or anything like that, but it's simply because they want to make others aware of the stuff that they feel that they are aware of. Kind of like how I make videos, right? I'm aware of certain things. I want to make others aware of what I'm aware of, but it's not necessarily for them. But I push that down, right? I'm going to focus elsewhere right now. So if someone's telling you these things, right, it's important for you to respond in a way where you're acknowledging the fact that they have this awareness, and you're letting them know what your awareness is. And your awareness is that in which you are manifesting, okay? Because your awareness is aligned with that in which you're manifesting. So, no, I didn't hear about, I did not hear about that. I did not hear about that. I don't claim it for my world. Thank you for letting me know, right? No, I do not hear about that. Or, I neutralize that energy from happening in my world, right? What else can be said? Just something along the lines of letting them know my weather. May my weather continue to be sunny, sunny and warm. May this weather continue to be beautiful. May this weather continue to may continue to I don't know, something, right? Something that's in alignment with actually what you are manifesting. So you're going to claim things that are making the weather comfortable for you and has nothing to do with a hurricane, right? And so therefore, if you go walking around, you hear a TV on and it's the news and it's talking about a hurricane, whatever, you can't be one of those people who are gathering around the TV to see what they have to say about the hurricane if that's not what you're creating in your world, right? You can't be one of those people who are on the telephone telling everybody about how you're hearing about the weather and answering your phone for people who are just going to call and try to tell you about the weather in your area and tell you about what they heard, right? You got to manifest something different. So maybe you don't answer the phone for them just to protect your thoughts, protect that space, that energy in which you're manifesting. Maybe you just keep declaring it to yourself. Maybe you turn off the radio. Maybe you turn off the news channel. Maybe the next person who brings it to you, just say, thank you for that information or something like that. Or thank you for sharing. Or, oh, okay. You're able to thank them. Oh, okay. Just let them know, acknowledge that you hear them, but do not engage in any long conversations about it or anything like that. Right? So when you do things like that, people are going to think you're absolutely crazy because they're just calling to tell you this. Or they're just calling to give you a heads up. Or whether you believe it or not, it's going to happen. If it happens, you'll be ready for anything that happens because you already know that you're manifesting what you're manifesting. But for the most part, if you're in alignment with that of what you're manifesting and what you think, speak, say, and do, and interpret and feel and perceive, then you'll be fine. That and what you're manifesting will happen the way you manifested it. So then when there is no hurricane, you don't experience one, even if when you leave it happens, the fact that you don't experience one, you realize what you did. You did not allow another person's reality to control your reality. You allowed yourself to control your own reality. And that is what this is about.